Hi all, this is Jaume from Openfort, and I'd like to show you how you can use Openfort to create a gaming ecosystem. So gaming ecosystems are relevant because they allow you to include your game into a bigger thing, a bigger ecosystem of other games, which allow for interoperability and tracking of achievements of your players. With Openfort, it is quite simple. So we've created this sample project that you can use to get started to create your own gaming ecosystem. So let me show you real quick what is the structure of this gaming ecosystem that we created. What you can see here is on the left, you can see a player, you can see two different games, and then one unified ecosystem backend that talks to Openfort. Openfort then connects with the blockchain and basically helps you put transactions on chain to basically the Web3 account of the player. This doesn't really mean that the account is managed, meaning custodial. It can also be that the account is self-custodial by using session keys. But this is a topic for another video. So what we'll be doing in this very quick video is basically including this continue with Bouncy. Bouncy in this case is the name of the gaming ecosystem. So Openfort ecosystems and basically the implementation that I show you in this sample basically supports two kind of authentication flows. First flow, it's basically a redirect pattern. So basically, when I click here and continue with Bouncy, we get redirected to the page of the ecosystem authentication. Here, I already signed up with my email. I press on sign in, and I get authenticated back into the URL of the game itself. And so here, if we inspect the page, you can see there is the GWT token that we just got authorized with. You can see here that I just accessed this certain token, this certain account, and I can basically interact with it. I can basically press here in collect. So what's happening here in collect is that I am interacting with the gaming ecosystem. And so where the main gaming ecosystem knows about what's the action that we want to do, because we tell it, we basically say that we want to interact with one certain contract, and then we want to use a certain policy to sponsor the contract. This is specified in the ecosystem backend here. So if you go into the routes of authentication in the ecosystem backend on the mint function, you can see the policy that is being used to sponsor transactions, and we can also see the contract that we included. Of course, you can see all this information here in the README file. But long story short, what we basically do is that we include here a policy and a contract. So basically, a contract is this smart contract on the Mumbai chain. There is an NFT contract, and then a policy is something that we specify on Openfort to say what functions do we want to sponsor. And so in this case, I use this policy here that specifies basically that I want to sponsor all functions of a certain contract. And so, yeah, you can see here the gas that I just used to do the certain minting that I mentioned before. You can see here as well the different assets that we have in the account. We can, of course, basically log out here, and the behavior is very similar to what we usually have with, social logins like Google. So if we log out here, and we also log out in the ecosystem page, what we will get, of course, is that we need to get authenticated again. In this case, I want to show you how the pop-up pattern of authentication looks like. So if you go ahead here and check on the sample OAuth authentication, we just have to go here on the pages part and specify pop-up equal true. And so basically what this is doing, it is specifying on the basically here when we click that we want to handle the pop-up, handle a click with a pop-up. So in this case, we'll get a pop-up of the Bouncy ecosystem that we want to log in. In this case, I want to log in with my Google. And so I can do that as well, and I get authenticated. You can see here it's a completely different account that I'm getting authenticated with. So yeah, this is basically all I wanted to show you today. The last thing I want to mention is that you can find all this relevant information on the GitHub of Openfort. So if you visit openfort.com, openfort.xyz, sorry, you can find here on our documentation, like basically the different samples, and between the samples there is the OAuth game ecosystem with all the relevant information. If you need any help, feel free to reach out here at support or file an issue that you find here in this repository that I might have missed. But yeah, this is basically all I wanted to show you for ecosystems. Feel free to reach out with any questions. Thanks a lot for your attention.